Welcome to This Must Be Heard, a recurring podcast featuring discussions of Delaware County Community College events, achievements, and initiatives. Today, Tashea White interviews fellow New Media Lab members Amy Miller and Jaime about their experiences as students attending DCCC branch locations. Thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Tashea White, and I'm going to be moderating this discussion today. Joining me are fellow students Jaime and Amy, whose names I just realized rhyme. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you for asking. How are you, Jaime?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. Well, if you guys don't mind, we'll jump right in and kick it off by asking you guys to talk about and explain why you guys chose branch locations. What kind of drew you guys to that decision? We'll start with you, Amy.
Okay. I actually didn't know that Delaware County had branch locations until I moved into Chester County and saw the sign. So I really was drawn to it because I wanted to finish my degree, and it was really close. I lived less than a mile from the Downingtown location. And that's what drew me into being a part of the branch location.
So it was really location.
Yes.
Nice. That makes sense. How about you, Jaime? Kind of similar?
I would definitely have to say very similar. I live 5 minutes down the road from the Downingtown location. So, it just made sense to go there as I just wanted to continue my college education.
Okay. And did you kind of know about it already? Did you know that there were branch locations available?
I think I did. I can't have a pinpoint memory of when I figured out there were some. I just know I heard people talking about it here and there. There were online classes. My brother went to Marple, so I kind of knew there was stuff around. So when I looked into it, I found them.
Okay. And then that location piece was kind of key to you too?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it makes total sense. Very logical and convenient. So we also know that sometimes there can be some stigma surrounding attending branch locations. Can you guys kind of speak to that? Talk a little bit about maybe some stigma that you guys knew about, and maybe some fears or doubts you guys had pertaining to attending branch locations versus the main location.
Well, I know I definitely had some inquisitions when it came to the differences between a main campus location and a branch location. I didn't think it would affect me too much because I had assumed that there was just a education quality all around that would just be equal. However, that was definitely challenged when I went to a main campus event, and 5 different people on separate occasions told me to drop all of my classes at my branch locations to attend at the main campus because it wasn't worth it. It was just worth it to go to the main campus instead of the branch locations. And that was definitely very off-putting for me because, I'm going into college, I'm meeting all these different people, and all of them are telling me, hey, no, just drop your classes and just come to the main campus or do online courses. Don't go to the one right down the street from your house. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like the experience there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amy, did you experience any of that at all?
Not the telling me to switch, but I definitely was concerned I wouldn't be able to get involved with the college.
Right.
And have the collegiate experience that I wanted. There definitely was a stigma that I felt from my own personal experiences. I definitely was concerned about that, but all my fears were dispelled pretty quickly.
And that was actually the next thing I was going to ask. Do you guys, you could give a brief yes or no, but you kind of already answered it. Do you think that any of those stigmas held true? Any of them at all?
I don't think any of them. Yeah.
I don't think absolutely not.
So what was the reality? How did your actual experience compare to what you had been told, to those stigmas, those fears, and those doubts? And can you speak to some of the benefits you actually experienced?
Well, for me, the advice that I was given was to wait until the withdrawal period. And I waited, and it just seemed like normal classes that you would get on any campus. And I ended up building bonds with a bunch of my classmates.
Right.
I don't really notice a big difference. Like, sure, there's not some big library or cafeteria with fresh food or a gymnasium. However, I'm there with my peers, I'm studying, I still get that classroom experience, whether it be negative or positive, that you would get at any college or location that teaches.
Okay. How about you, Amy?
I really have shined at the branch location. I love the class sizes are smaller. I really enjoy that to get to know the professors. I've gotten to know a lot of the staff at the branch locations. Now that I'm transferring, I have the director writing a recommendation for me because I've gotten to know them much better. I actually don't even want to really go to Maine. I think I've only been there one or two times because I had to drop off a book or do something for a professor that could only be at that campus. But yeah, the advantages for me at a branch location far outweigh and dispel any stigmas that I had going in. I love the class size. I love that it's a little smaller. All the Delaware County locations have, library commons and, cafeterias, but small, but that's okay. There's, not so many of us. But I really enjoy being at a branch location. I feel like a big fish in a small pond, and it's been a great college experience at a branch location.
Do you feel like being at a branch location, because it's smaller, almost gave you a closer feel? Like you were able to make connections and, like you felt like you were able to almost connect more closely because you're seeing more of the same people on a regular basis?
I do, and I think it was easier for me to ask for help when I needed it. Like when I needed help on a paper or when I needed tutoring. I didn't get lost in the shuffle, so to speak. I see my professor walk down the hall. I see other students walk down the hall. The tutoring is a couple rooms over. Yeah, I really believe that I got help when I needed it, and I created more of a bond with the college, the students, and professors.
I definitely have to say that it's less intimidating because there's not as many people. It's not as big. I'm a person who likes to get lost in the crowd. So there isn't something that would be off-putting necessarily for me. However, it's nice to be able to be in a smaller environment where I could be seen and felt like, yeah, these people are going to get to know me a little bit better because they're not seeing like 20 other different classes maybe in the same day, or just getting lost in those sea of people that, yeah, they can be friends to the person in the class they have next door because there's like 30 other kids there. And that's like a nice comforting feeling to be with.
Yeah. So do you think you would recommend, would you definitely recommend branch locations to someone that's coming out of high school and they kind of feel intimidated, like you said, by just the size and the immensity of a main campus, and they just want to kind of get themselves introduced to the college experience in a way?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I definitely would. Anybody that doesn't feel they're necessarily ready for a big 4-year school, but they want to get some college experience, I definitely would recommend a branch location. One of my fears also was that I wouldn't be able to do the clubs or get involved with the student body, and I have been able to do that, and I've been able to excel instead of struggle. Yeah.
So your extracurriculars don't even suffer, like you said.
They don't. DCCC makes it really easy to do clubs virtually, to do classes virtually. And if you need to go print something, the branch location is close by too.
Awesome. Well, I am loving all of this. You guys are giving such great, glowing reviews about branch locations. It's amazing. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity before we go to say anything else that you might want to say to any incoming students, any students that might be going out of their way to go to a main location when there is maybe a branch location closer. Like I said, any student that's coming out of high school, just entering college, what advice would you give them? What would you want them to know before we leave?
Don't be swayed by what other people tell you. If you feel confident in your own decision of what you're doing and you feel like that's the right path that you should be taking, take it. No one else is going to be able to dictate how you go about what you feel is best for yourself.
Talk about it. Preach. Go ahead, Amy.
I can only speak to my peers. That is moms, people who work full time, people who have families and jobs. And the branch location experience has been wonderful for all that. I would say if you're thinking about it, like Jaime said, do it. Also, give a location a call. They're more than willing to talk to you, walk you through it. Like I said, it's a smaller environment, so they're able to hold anyone's hand a little bit longer, better. It's just been a great experience for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I think you guys gave so much good information just now. On that note, we are going to head out. Thanks you guys so much for your participation, for your pushing for this episode. I think it's going to definitely benefit a lot of people to hear this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course, and thank you for having us.
No problem. You guys are great. On that note, until next time, everybody, we're out.
You've been listening to This Must Be Heard, brought to you by the New Media Lab in Campus Life. Today's hosts and producers were Amy Miller, Jaime DeKai, and Tashea White. Tashea White was also our director for this episode. Our production coordinator was Fafali Teseglo. Our co-executive producers were Tashea White and Raven Amaro. Raven Amaro and Raymond Porras edited this episode. Lydian and Sandra prepared our title cards, Victoria Colbreth and Samuel Larson designed our cover art, and Indigo Fraser composed our theme music. Aaron Crow announced the intro for this episode, and my name is Raven Amaro, announcing our outro. Special thanks to the Director of Athletics and Campus Engagement, Allison Gleason, and our faculty advisor, Professor Maria Boyd. If you have an interest in participating in the New Media Lab, contact the Office of Athletics and Campus Engagement or reach out to us on Instagram at DCCC_New Media Lab. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks again for listening.